Hello kids, ready to study? In the last video, we started animal tissues and we completed nervous tissue and muscular tissue. The link will be in the description box. You can go back and check. Today we will be studying epithelial tissue, a very important tissue. The main function of epithelial tissue is to provide protection, but the function varies to the place it is present. So let us start. Epithelial tissue, main function I have written, protection. Now this epithelial tissue is of 5 types. Don't get scared. It is of 5 types, but they are easy ones. First is squamous epithelium. The name tells it's a thin layer, not very thick, the cell doesn't have too much height. It is a thin layer which makes the outermost covering of our body. Epithelial tissue will make the outermost covering of a body not only from outside. Our internal organs also are lined from outside by epithelial tissue and also inside. So this epithelial tissue makes the outermost covering of usually all the internal organs and our skin also. So the main function will be protection. It keeps the internal parts of our body away from wear and tear. Even our tongue, the outermost layer is this squamous epithelial tissue. The cells are usually square, you can say, or rectangle. No, God has not taken a scale and made perfect squares and rectangles. Approximately square, rectangle, or polygonal in shape. So the main function is protection. Next is cuboidal. The name tells cube. So the shape will be either somewhat like a cube or a cuboid. That means the height will not be too much, but it will be a small box. So in small amounts, things can be stored here. So maybe the gland is making more more secretory things, more hormones, or more like salivary glands. More saliva must be produced inside the gland, but in small batches it is produced in the mouth. It is secreted in the mouth. So this cuboidal epithelial tissue is present in our sweat glands, in salivary glands, okay, in various other organelles. So the main function will be secretion. When this cuboidal epithelium is present in the villi of small intestine, there it will help in absorption. You must have read about villi in smaller classes also. Otherwise, in class 10th, you will read how food gets absorbed. The intestine comes out as finger-like projections called villi, and the lining is made up of these cuboidal epithelial tissue. So there this epithelial tissue helps in absorption. When this tissue is present in the kidney tubules, then this tissue will help in excretion. Now if it is present in kidney, it will help kidney to do its work. So wherever the tissue is present in whichever organ, it helps that organ to perform its function. When in salivary glands, it will secrete. When in intestine, it will absorb, and when in the kidney, it will excrete. Okay. So the next tissue is columnar epithelium. The name tells it's a long jar-like thing. That means more things can be stored. Here, it's a small jar. So the nucleus is present usually near the center. Here it's a long tall jar. Now if the nucleus will be here, how will things go down? So nucleus in this is present towards the base, so that a large cavity remains empty for things to be stored. Stomach, large intestine, small intestine, okay, all these places you will have columnar epithelium. When we eat food, food stays in the stomach. Where? In the columnar epithelium. So the main function will be storage. Now this glandular epithelium is a type of columnar epithelium only, usually present in our hormonal glands, our endocrine glands, oil glands, the hair, everywhere, oil glands, it is present, glandular epithelium, okay. So what will be the function there? Whatever secretion is coming out from the gland, it will be stored in this columnar epithelium. Now sweat, if you take the example of sweat, the sweat gland keeps on producing sweat and it will be stored where? Glandular epithelium. But Do we sweat the entire day? No. Only when it's very hot, the sweat comes out. In very tiny amount, it keeps coming out. That is a different thing. But you feel sweat when it is very hot. So at that time, the secretion moves from glandular columnar epithelium to the cuboidal epithelium, the next layer. Okay, there it will help in excretion. And even on top of cuboidal epithelium, you will find squamous. Now, even our armpits, they have a skin outside, isn't it? So that will be made of squamous only. So this way, in progression, the things come out of our body. The last type is ciliated epithelium. This is a modification of cuboidal or columnar, both it can be. In the structure of the cell, a cilia is attached. Now this cilia will help in the movement of substances. It is found in our esophagus, so that when we eat food, the food can move down to the alimentary canal easily. It is found in oviducts, so that the movement of sperm and ovum, the egg, is facilitated. It is also found in the sperm tubule, in the sperm ducts, so that sperms can move easily. The moving of the cilia helps in the movement of things. So these were the 5 types of epithelial tissue. I hope you have understood. Now let us move to the next type of tissue, which is connective tissue. Okay kids, so let us move to connective tissue. Now this connective tissue is of 3 types. Connective tissue proper, fluid connective tissue and skeletal connective tissue. Skeletal connective tissue, the name tells skeleton, so this will have bones and cartilage. Fluid, what is fluid in our body? Blood and lymph. So fluid connective tissue will have blood and lymph. Connective tissue proper is of 3 types: areolar tissue, adipose tissue and fibrous tissue. The main work of entire connective tissue is to connect places, to connect things. How is our head connected to the foot? By these connective tissue, by blood, by bones and also by different types of structures which attach muscles to the bones, isn't it? So connective tissue, the main function is connection to various things in the body to provide support and to provide strength, also transportation here. All right, so let us start with the first type, which is connective tissue proper. Now this connective tissue proper is of 3 types: areolar, adipose and fibrous. Areolar tissue acts as a packing material in our body. Whenever you bring anything, maybe an electronic equipment, or you may be bringing some pots or even a toy, a small toy, when you open the box at home, apart from that product, there will be maybe a thermocol, or maybe there might be a cardboard, more cardboard inside, or maybe some sort of hard paper. Now why does the shopkeeper fill in the box with all those things? So that when you come home, you open the box and you just dirty the box? No, it is meant to be kept there so that your item that you have bought is not having any injury, is not torn or some sort of damage is done while transportation. So this areolar tissue also prohibits any injury to the internal organs. When we are jumping, our organs are also jumping, but they do not get injured. Now, if you imagine lungs, it is present right next to the rib cage. Entire day it keeps on moving. But does it get hurt by when it, or does it get stuck to the bones? No, it doesn't get attached to the rib cage. Why? Because of this areolar tissue. There is lot of packing material everywhere. Or there are bones in the hand, and the skin and the bones, have you heard noises in between? No. So everything is kept at its place in the body by this areolar tissue. This is the packing material of our body. It keeps things at its place. Okay. So the packing material of our body, which keeps the things in their place to avoid any injury, is areolar tissue. Now this adipose tissue is made up of fats. It is present right next to the skin, and the main function of adipose tissue is insulation. It provides insulation to the body. It keeps the body warm. If this tissue will not be there, maybe we die of cold. Alright? Even if it is very cold, the body will feel sufficiently warm as compared to the surrounding. Why? Because of the adipose tissue. The next is fibrous tissue. It is of two types, yellow fibrous tissue and white fibrous tissue. The yellow fibrous tissue is also called ligament, and the white fibrous tissue is also known as tendon. This ligament is the thing which attaches two bones together. So when bone has to get attached to another bone, it is joined by ligament. So where will this be found? At the joints. Joint is a place where two bones meet. So ligaments will join two bones together. Okay. Tendons, they will join muscle to bones. A muscle, the voluntary muscles have to be attached to the bones. Then only we can move various parts of the body. So that muscle is attached to bone by the tendon. So the basic difference between ligament and tendon is what they are joining. Ligaments will join bones together and tendons will join muscles to bones. Now, tendons need to be having some reconciled strength. Reconciled strength, you understand? You pull a rubber band and you let it go. It comes back to its shape. I move my hand. Does it get elongated or it gets shorter? No, it comes back to its original place. Why? Because tendons have a high amount of reconciled strength. Ligaments have lesser reconciled strength. The bones do not actually move. What moves is the muscles. Ligaments are more strong as compared to tendons. So this is what is connective tissue proper, where we studied the basic three types of connective tissue: areolar, adipose and fibrous. Fibrous is made up of two types, yellow and white, ligaments and tendons. Now this fluid connective tissue and skeletal tissue we will be studying in the next video. Do like, follow, share and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye, take care and keep studying.